have your conversation at the start if you want to.
Oh, see, you tried to introduce it, now it just sounds weird. You've made it an artificial introduction.
I'm sorry. That's
artificial introductions, there's a name.
That's what we should call it.
It's a good name for something. I quite like that phrase, artificial introductions.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep bringing that up now.
Kind of like when you meet someone and you don't want to meet them, it's like, having to put on a fake smile and stuff.
No, it's more like meeting a robot.
Yeah, but that's not an artificial introduction, that's an introduction to someone artificial.
Yeah, an artificial introduction. It's a pun. It's a great joke. It was intended as a joke, and the fact that you're going to just try and hijack that is very...
I'm not hijacking it,
You're hijacking my quality podcast name, which is Artificial Introductions.
Okay, sure.
I'm still very much stuck on this as a name, and I'm very...
Should we just call it Artificial? So guys, welcome to Artificial Introduction. Got nothing to do with what we're doing, but James likes it.
Yeah, that's what I would say. I would say that is a good description of any podcast. Okay, let me name some good podcasts. Plumbing the Death Star.
The Weekly Planet.
Quality.
But again, they're both geek related. Artificial Introduction
is artificial intelligence, very clearly.
Sure. Okay, so we're 24th of...
Oh, you're doing a date. This is real sad.
What? No. What is it? 24th of...
It's April.
April. That's the
and
month.
You should probably know the month, given the purpose of this podcast.
Well, yeah. Well, that's what I'm getting at. So we're going to Endgame tonight, which is going to be fun.
Which is at midnight, and we have terrible seats.
Actually,
and it's going to be a rubbish experience, but we're cool like that.
We're dedicated to the cause.
Yeah, use the word dedicated, not just completely unorganised. That's the way I would describe it.
It's your own fault. But yeah, I don't know what you're expecting.
Because this is arguably... No, this isn't arguably. This is by far and away the most anticipated anything probably of all time. Because
James likes it.
Yeah, that's what I would say. I would say that is a good description of any podcast. Okay, let me name some good podcasts. Plumbing the Death Star.
The Weekly Planet.
Quality.
But again, they're both geek related. Artificial Introduction
is artificial intelligence, very clearly.
Sure. Okay, so we're 24th of...
Oh, you're doing a date. This is real sad.
What? No. What is it? 24th of...
It's April.
April. That's the
and
month.
You should probably know the month, given the purpose of this podcast.
Well, yeah. Well, that's what I'm getting at. So we're going to Endgame tonight, which is going to be fun.
Which is at midnight, and we have terrible seats.
Actually,
and it's going to be a rubbish experience, but we're cool like that.
We're dedicated to the cause.
Yeah, use the word dedicated, not just completely unorganised. That's the way I would describe it.
It's your own fault. But yeah, I don't know what you're expecting.
Because this is arguably... No, this isn't arguably. This is by far and away the most anticipated anything probably of all time. Because the...
Infinity War was big, this is next level.
Because it was good.
Yeah.
Because Infinity War was good, it made it this.
Well,
and for all they said, Infinity War Part 1 and 2, and they changed the names, which I think was fair, given everything they said about it. I think this is clearly the conclusion. Infinity War was Part 1, and this is going to round it off, and everyone just wants to be there for it. It's part of history.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think the big thing that I think the Russos are almost trying to do as well is they know that they almost don't have to market this. It kind of sells itself. Infinity War was a big marketing campaign for this movie.
Well, that was an interview. They had an interview where they said they discussed every level of marketing, and not marketing at all was something that they considered genuinely doing. And honestly, I can't think of anything that would have been a better way to sell tickets to dedicated people.
Yeah.
They couldn't do it because random children on the street would have no idea that the movie existed. But to those dedicated people, they would be all there at midnight. There would be more screenings at midnight than the rest, because everyone would just have to be there. Because
I think obviously the trailers and stuff that have been released and all the marketing that has been done will sell tickets. Of course it will, to people who were umming and ahhing about going, but they won't this first night, and obviously the nights that have been happening recently across the world. I don't think any of them wouldn't have been there without that marketing. I think they all would have been there anyway.
I think all it's done is just prove to all the people who didn't get it, who don't get it, that this is a big deal. This isn't what it was 10 years ago. It was like, oh, you're gonna go watch a Captain America movie? What a nerd!
Why would you do that?
Cheeky little boy.
Yeah,
get a life.
Yeah.
And then now it's something that is literally a cultural phenomenon.
It is.
Undebatably.
I think the interesting thing to look at, I've recently rewatched all of them with my girlfriend, and I think the interesting thing to look at with that is at the end of Captain America, the first Avenger, they showed the trailer for the Avengers, the first one.
They did.
It was really interesting because it's nothing like trailers this day and age, through Marvel, I think, but obviously through Disney as a whole, have completely changed. And I think they've changed the way that movies are received. And I think especially comic book movies, they're Batman, known as Batman was obviously before that. Around the same sort of time as Iron Man.
Dark Knight was the same year as Iron Man, and they changed the landscape.
And I think film in general has changed because of it. Like all the other films, like you look at the biopics and stuff, they've all changed because of it.
For me, what's really weird personally is, so I saw the first Iron Man when it came out. When I must have been like 8, 9, 8 or 9, something like that.
Go on.
A film with like strippers in it. And drinking and all this adult stuff that was somehow appropriate for kids, and it worked, and it made a lot of money back then, and it launched a new type, along with The Dark Knight. Very much both of them did it in making superhero movies just good movies, but weren't, oh look, there's a guy and he's doing a flip and it's all CGI and it's just stories about real people. And
yeah, and I think it. Well, I think there's two sides to it really. I think you're right. Iron Man and Batman, they kind of paved the way for this new age of cinema where it is comic book movies. But I do think it was almost umming and ahhing before that anyway, with the likes of, you got action flicks were like Mission Impossible and James Bond, which were being really popular at that sort of time. And I think that they're as close to superheroes as you're going to get. And I think Marvel probably had seen at the time, okay, there is a trend towards these action flicks, the big, Michael Bay sort of explosions. Obviously, I know Transformers was after that, but
first one wasn't.
No, the first one wasn't. But anyway, they saw things like that and went, okay, well, we could probably get away with doing these goofy characters. You have a good check. We can probably get away with doing these goofy characters and just doing them in a different light. And Iron Man was a weird one to start with because I think it was a lesser known comic. Obviously, it had things like the Fantastic Four and Spider-Man. Sam Raimi's Spider-Man was sports.
2007.
Yeah, so it was before.
But this is what's really interesting, again, for me, is that... So I saw Iron Man in cinemas. I saw Iron Man 2 in cinemas. But I saw both Thor and Captain America. And this is a surprisingly funny story. So the way I saw both Thor and Captain America was on a DVD that my mum borrowed from a library. She had absolutely no idea if they were related in any way. I think they were probably sat next to each other on a shelf, and she was like, well, this looks interesting. I'll get you this little film. Because we always had films from the library and we always watched them.
Yeah. And
this was just the films we had, and then this weekend we had 2 of them, and we just watched them. And then I actually, the most ridiculous thing, I remember, there's something that's in both Thor and Captain America. I think it's the Tesseract.
Yeah.
And I remember going, look, it's like the same thing. Because I had less than no idea that these were related. In the same way you had X-Men movies and the Fantastic Four movies, they weren't related. It was just, they had similar concepts across all of them.
Yeah.
And then I remember one time sitting there and something, it probably wasn't a YouTube ad, because I don't even know if YouTube had ads back in the day. Well, it did, but I don't remember them. And I just came across this thing called the Avengers trailer and watched it and was like, wait, that's Iron Man. Oh, it would have been off the back of knowing Iron Man, it would have been the Iron Man sequel to me. And then seeing these people, Captain America and Thor, who I genuinely had no idea were in any way related. I hadn't seen the Iron Man post-credit scene, so I didn't know who Nick Fury was. All of this was brand new to me, and I was obsessed with it, and have been obsessed with it ever since. I remember, I think I watched that trailer 10 times in a day.
Yeah. It was huge. I had a bit of a different experience, you see, because I was a little bit older. I was 12, I reckon, at the time. So, and I'd grown up with comics, so I'd known... So, you know, I'd known who these characters were, I knew who, you know, Iron Man was, I knew Captain America. So, of course, but I had the same sort of experience. I mean, mine was instead with Incredible Hulk, so I watched Incredible Hulk first, and watched, you know, General Ross get approached by Tony Stark at the end. And I was like, oh, hang on, who's that? And then obviously that has passed when Iron Man came out. I didn't see it in the cinemas, so when I then found Iron Man, watched it and went, oh, okay, so these two are linked. And obviously having known the comics, I hadn't read many Avengers, I was more of a DC comics, and then obviously Spider-Man and the Fantastic Four when I was growing up, and a bit of Deadpool. And so it's sort of going, okay, so these are in the same sort of universe then, I wonder what else. And obviously then Captain America came out, Thor and stuff, and so you'd gone, okay, what's happening? So when Avengers got announced at the end of Captain America, I was thinking, oh gosh, okay, how's this going to work? And I remember going into Avengers thinking, this isn't going to work, there's too many characters, they're not going to do it, you know, they're not going to be able to do them all justice sort of thing. Adding as well Black Widow and Hawkeye, who'd never seen, a different Bruce Banner, which, you know, obviously now Mark Ruffalo's kind of accepted as the Bruce Banner. He's very good at it, but at the time Edward Norton was the Hulk. And so it was really weird kind of going into it. And obviously now when you look back and you go, you know, Infinity War and Endgame with this giant cast. I mean, I watched Infinity War last night, and just looking at the credits, I turned to my girlfriend and was like, this is a ridiculous cast.
Yeah.
And so thinking then back then when Avengers came out saying there's too many characters, and it's like the comparison, you don't even question it nowadays. It's really interesting.
The journey and the 10 years, like going back to the Avengers, Avengers were the first thing ever that I saw more than once in a cinema, and I saw that movie, I think, definitely more than, I think, 6 times.
In the cinemas?
In the cinema.
Wow.
Because everyone had it for their birthday party. I had like 3 friends' birthday parties. I saw it separately with all my family. I saw it on multiple occasions with some of them because I could not get enough of this movie. It was probably the first thing I watched a full behind-the-scenes documentary of. I watched, it's like a 2-hour documentary, which is probably my favourite documentary because
it's brilliant. Yeah.
It's, I don't even know what it's called. It's just on the Blu-ray for Avengers Assemble. And, because it's Avengers Assemble here because we have our own cool British Avengers. Yeah, imagine that now. Imagine them coming off the back of this thinking, oh, they might get confused with which Avengers it was. And that's how relatively insignificant it was. This
they were worried that they were going...
It's black and white Avengers is. Yeah. This, what must be 1960s Avengers TV show, they thought people in Britain would be confused with and wouldn't go and see it, or would go and see it and get the wrong idea. And the idea that anyone you say Avengers to now, other than a joke, would go, oh, it's the 1960s one, and not just immediately think Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, is insane. It is the highest grossing franchise of all time by a significant margin. Yeah, which is actually, I don't think it's surprising, but when you look at the other franchises out there, obviously DC can't compare, but then you've got the likes of Star Wars as well. It's surprising because no movie franchise has ever come close even to creating, I would say Star Wars. But still, Star Wars died for almost 30 years. Just to creating a universe that felt like a play, that felt like it had real characters. And you could say Harry Potter, but Harry Potter is the mind of a person. You could say the same about all the others. They've all been masterminded by this person. Maybe that's what the secret ingredient is. You just need a person who cares. Well, yeah, but at the same time, I mean, you still... I think trying to reverse engineer the Marvel Cinematic Universe won't work. It's too much. It's true. But I think the interesting thing, I mean, in terms of the MCU, the longevity of it, you're right, it's unheard of. I don't think it'll ever be repeated. I mean, DC will try, but I think their best bet is to go in separate directions and have the different universes like they do in the comics. Just to put into perspective how much bigger it is than anything else that's come before it, with the MCU is at 18.6 billion. How many movies? Over 10 years? 21 movies,
Exactly.
with Star Wars on 11 at 9.2 billion. If you just think about
how big Star Wars is, really.
How big Star Wars is compared to people, the fever that comes every time a new Star Wars movie comes out, and that Marvel can create this on every single movie, pretty much.
In this day and age when people's attention span's not as expansive. I mean, moving on sort of like from Avengers as well, I think that they obviously, Avengers Assemble, as we know it, it kind of put that stick in the ground for Marvel where they went, okay, we can do this, and I think they started getting a bit more ballsy.
Well, I think Phase 2 is probably one of I would think, the weakest phases from what they did, because I don't think anyone at Marvel would argue with, they did not realise how big it was going to be.
Yeah,
and
so they almost
had to launch into Iron Man 3, Thor the Dark World, both of those two, which, while I love Iron Man 3 and it's one of my favourites, it is incredibly divisive. I think they launched into that thinking we're playing to a niche audience, and they realised after that they weren't. Iron Man 3 nearly as big as the Avengers because people just wanted it. They wanted that,
and it didn't deliver on a lot of aspects. But as you say, I mean, I think having rewatched them all now, I don't think any of them are bad movies. I'd even watched like the first Incredible Hulk, not the Edward Norton one. It was a good movie.
It's crazy to me to see movies like Captain America, the first Avenger, is the whole Captain America trilogy is.
Well, the Russos
in itself a cinematic feat, just in those. Obviously, it relies heavily on the whole universe, but the development of a character that you actually see and actually feel and realise that you actually feel for is unlike anything else. And
I mean,
going all the way up to Civil War, you across Phase 2 create all these characters, and then it's like they realised that it was just a sandpit, and they just went, okay, what if we make them fight? And then they fight, and that sets up
the entirety of
Phase 3. And
that's
where they really... Guardians started it, but Phase 3 is where they really started pushing the boat out and just going...
Yeah, Ant-Man, things like that. I think obviously Ant-Man's a Phase 2. But this is what I'm saying.
Even Ant-Man is very formulaic compared to the way Guardians of the Galaxy twisted what people expected from Marvel. It was an everyday guy who got powers, and then he was a superhero. It was Ant-Man. Guardians Phase 2, but Guardians is what I'm saying is pushed them in the direction of just go.
Well, that's a suggested direction. It is going to be the direction they're going in post Endgame. But I mean, I almost agree and disagree about Phase 2, because you have got the likes of Captain America, Winter Soldier, you've got Guardians, you've got Ant-Man, and as much as obviously I think
but I think
they weren't as big spectacles as the first one, obviously not as huge of a thing as Phase 3, but I think it was still a very good standing to go from into Phase 3. Like Civil War, at the end of the day, past, I say Winter Soldier onwards, every film they've made has been leading up to Infinity War. Has almost every single time they've gone, well, we need to do this for Infinity War, we need to do this for Infinity War. You know, the disbanding of S.H.I.E.L.D., the disbanding of the Avengers, the introduction of Quantum Realm.
See, I think all of that, the whole Infinity War thing, I think Feige in his head was building towards it. I think if you're talking about the decisions they made, I think some of the decisions they've made were the biggest missteps in a universe where they tried to make a good movie. Captain America: Winter Soldier is an incredible movie, regardless of genre, regardless of anything. It is a movie that is just flawless, in my opinion. And I think they wanted to make a really, really good movie, and The Fall of S.H.I.E.L.D. makes that movie in a lot of ways. The fact that Hydra is in S.H.I.E.L.D. is where that movie comes into its own.
So, going into end of Endgame, end of
Infinity War, start of Endgame, I think they created a plot twist that has been... that this movie turns everything on its head. It makes you think the bad guys won't kill anyone. It makes you think that the heroes won't ever die. Not really, not properly. It makes you think that it will be easy, and however close to the end you get, they're still going to win at the end of it. And they play into every single one of those tropes. And I think for all the MCU gets gets insulted for its villains, and a lot of them aren't amazing.
Yeah.
When you put it into this and you see that, wait, there is a guy who's killing all these people, it makes all of that worth it, because you go, it was building to this. If Venom kill people, how bad is this guy? What's he done?
Yeah.
And then at the start of that movie, he kills Loki, he kills Heimdall, he kills half of Asgard.
Spoilers, by the way.
And spoilers were implied. And
Obviously.
That's it. They're dead.
Yeah.
And we'll get on to what we think is going to happen later, but for that movie, they stay dead. And I think that was...
Yeah, good choice.
Especially Tom Hiddleston. Especially someone who everyone was excited to see team up with the
after
good guys.
Thor Ragnarok, especially.
Yeah. Just go, dead.
Yeah, in the first 10 minutes. And if we think about like the great villain introductions, not even just in the MCU, first one that always springs to mind for most geeks is Darth Vader, and you get that introduction. I would arguably say, after watching Infinity War again last night, I said it last night, I am more scared of Thanos at the start of that movie than I would have been ever of Darth Vader.
See, on top of that, I would say, to go slightly off topic on Star Wars, Darth Vader was someone who was more said to be a bad guy than was a bad guy.
Yeah.
And frankly, I don't remember most of the originals. I've only seen them once, years ago. But...
We'll rectify that.
What I will say is that if you take the scene in Rogue One at the end of it, and everyone said, but it's not just me, that is more evil
than Darth
Vader is for the rest of it. And if you take that scene, I think you have two villains that are these just absolute machines, but clever machines. They're not Terminators. They don't just walk forward and shoot.
No.
They know what they want, and they will do anything to achieve it. And that is what makes Thanos' threat so terrifying, because it's not that he just wants people dead, he just wants power. He knows what he wants, he knows why he wants it, and he genuinely thinks, in the heart of hearts, he is right. And
that's a scary...
Debatably, he is right.
Well, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, as he said to Gamora, her planet is thriving now because of what he did. But, you look at that first opening scene on the Asgardians ship. Kills Heimdall. Kills Loki. Yes, that is terrifying. I actually think the biggest moment of that is the thing that everyone was looking forward to, is he absolutely hands the Hulk his ass.
He does. He leaves Thor for dead.
Yeah, and these two are easily the most powerful Marvel...
Debatably.
I think Scarlet Witch is the most powerful, other than Vision, because he's an android and Rolling Stone.
Debate this later, but...
Yeah. But he does that to those two.
Does it, yeah.
And at the end of the day, Evan Moore says it right. He lets him have his fun. He sees that as fun to kick the ass of the...
An incredible point, which I didn't necessarily notice on the first time, but especially the second time now I know it, is very clear. They make it very clear every time one of the stone is used. They basically do a shot of the glove and you see the stone, or you very clearly can see the stone light up. For that entire opening where he is beating the crap out of Hulk, the stone isn't... That is just...
Yeah. That's just
the power of him. And unlike Hulk, who just gets angry, he has been hitting the gym hard.
Yeah.
And you can see he wants this.
Yeah.
And that sacrifice for Gamora...
Yeah. That hit me hard the last time I watched it.
I
didn't like the Guardians. I love, don't get me wrong, but the Guardians in that movie annoyed me. I get why Peter Quill did it, so it annoys me. But Gamora, it didn't bother me. That second time of watching it, I went, crap. I mean, I got the whole reference of this is Thanos' movie, and you really felt it. He was a sympathetic. This guy is killing half the universe, and yet you feel sympathy for him at that moment. That was brilliant. Amazing filmmaking for that.
She gets fridged, and it's annoying, but I would dare to say it earns it, if only on paper, in that he does sacrifice his daughter, and I think for the 3 seconds that you see him care about her, he genuinely does care. And to go on to performances that I think are the best, I think Josh Brolin's performance in that, given that he is buried under layers and layers of CGI, is to compare it to something else on par with Caesar in Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Andy Serkis has been not outdone, but it's not just his anymore.
Yeah.
It's proved that the world has this
Yeah. Well, Ali Serkis brought it into the world. I think he'd even say that he's happy that he's carrying on. I mean, Industrial Light and Magic did all the SFX and stuff for it, and Lucasfilm, hats off to George Lucas for starting that up. I mean, it's pioneered everything through the SFX in. I mean, we've watched Captain Marvel since, and the CGI in Captain Marvel, it's good, but it's not amazing, and I think that kind of shows in anything, really. I don't see it as a bad thing. I mean, CGI, it's going to be difficult, but you look at Infinity War, and you go, there's nothing wrong with it.
There's actually one thing wrong with it, which is when you see Mark Ruffalo's head in the Hulkbuster, and it always looks wrong.
Well, I've always thought that Tony Stark, when he's got his head off with the armour, doesn't look right.
Here's when it changed. It always looked right until they made his suit smaller. So they've kept, if you look at all the movies, they've kept making his suit slightly thinner, slightly more shaped to
now
him.
It's nanotech.
And but even before that, so even in Avengers 2, this is where it really got slim and streamlined. And I would way prefer add him nanotech into the suit, but make it look like the other suits, because they feel present. They feel when they're stood there.
Yeah, Iron Man was
there,
huge.
and it's because they are there. He's wearing at least the top half of the suit.
Yeah, he still does that in a new one, but I do think
it doesn't look right.
It's the shoulders.
They CGI over the whole thing, and it's the same with Black Panther. And I feel
Tom Holland's.
They need to. I'll come to that in a sec. They need to stop trying to make things look cool and stuff and make them look real, because that's where the MCU started, and that's where it worked, when I felt like Iron Man had built himself a suit. And obviously it's not physically possible, but when you look at it you go, but maybe it is. Maybe it wouldn't work, but they've built it at least. With Tom Holland, I watched the video and I wish I could give credit, because it actually answered the question that I've asked. Tom Holland's suit doesn't look real, and it was very hard for me to pinpoint why, because it looks beautiful. I love his suit. I love the design. I love him as Spider-Man. But his suit just looks wrong. Something about it looks wrong. And I will tell you what it is. And it is the fact that his suit doesn't stretch.
Just ever so quickly, before you told me about this before, about how they do it, I'd never seen it. Rewatching Spider-Man Homecoming, I watched it and went, what? Yeah, it makes so much sense. Anyway, it doesn't stretch.
All the ragging on Amazing Spider-Man 2, the suit looks perfect, because it's the shot that they always use where he's falling away from the screen and it's a logo. You see the ripple, you see the stretch, you see that it is material, and on the new suit you don't, and it is incredibly difficult to look at it. But I'm so glad they put him in the Iron Spider suit, because then I don't have to look at it and I'll forgive it, and it's as stupid as the Iron Man suits.
Well, they bring it back.
I know, but it's so hard to look at when you can see that it's just...
Yeah, sorry to everyone who does listen to this, because we've ruined it for you now.
You will now not be able to unsee Tom Holland. I hope they change it for Far From Home, and I think they will, because people have now started pointing it out, and it's just... Yeah. It's very distracting.
Okay.
To go to the end of Endgame.
Okay. Can we go into Endgame first before we go to the end of Endgame?
End of Infinity War is the word we're looking for.
Yeah, okay.
We have the one of the biggest plot twists in history, as big as Luke, I am your father. You've got the snap.
It's no, I am your father, but let's not go there.
It's Luke, I am your father.
It's no, I am your father.
And I read it off a website, so it must be true.
He says, Luke says, yes, he told me you killed your father, and Darth Vader says, no, I am your father, search your feelings, you know it to be true.
Wow, you know a lot about Star Wars. I almost didn't care.
Carry on.
Going back to what we're talking about, which is the snap. So Marvel leans so heavily in every one of their movies of the heroes mostly come out on top. Even in Civil War, he sends them a nice note at the end going, we're still buds, you know it. And everything's fine. And I think going into Infinity War, people were scared, but it was, not scared, but my expectation was they defeat Thanos this time, and someone bigger or something else happens in Infinity War Part 2, but you have two, because they kept saying again, two complete movies, two separate movies, and it's happy. And as
begin middle end for both.
And as we got closer and I thought more and more about it, I saw writing on the wall for a cliffhanger. By hell did I not see this sort of cliffhanger coming into play.
Now, you see, when I was going into Infinity War, I thought it was going to be almost Deathly Hallows Part 1 and Part 2. They find some of the Infinity Stones in the first one, and in the second one, they then get all of them, and that's how they defeat
And that
him.
was I would say was the general expectation of what it was going
Now-
to be. He'd get some of the stones,
Yeah.
and then he'd fight them, and then he'd get maybe the complete glove, or he'd get one more stone at the end, and it was him disappearing off to another journey.
Now, the Russos have recently came out and said that the snap could have been, like, they were debating whether to put the snap at the end of Infinity War or at the start of Endgame. I think if it was the start of Endgame, it would have ruined the movie. I don't think it'd have worked. So I'm glad with the decision they made.
I don't think that. I think that what they did at the end of the day was, I have no idea how it would fit into Endgame without seeing Endgame. I feel it would have worked, and it would have had some levity, but I think they have got some gravity, but I think they have got so much mileage in terms of marketing. Like, they put out 40 posters, which has every character on, half of them are dead, and you're like, oh, I need to check who my favourite characters.
And you want all of them.
And you want all of them.
Apart from Happy. And Mantis.
I love Happy.
I love the words, don't you post it with.
But this cliffhanger has been the talking point, and everyone knows, I think, we'll come on to this in theories, but everyone knows that they're all coming back to a degree, to some sort of thing. You've got a Spider-Man movie coming out, Black Panther sequel, Doctor Strange sequel, all these people are coming back. Yeah. Even a Loki TV series, maybe, and they're coming back.
But that's past. That's in the past. So.
But we'll debate whether they come back or not, but the fact that they did it, I think, went a long way for people to go, well, still, oh, crap, they're all dead.
Well, I think what's interesting, and I think coming out of Infinity War, I was sat there going, okay, so they're going to bring them back, but I want them to sit in it for a little bit. Like, they've made this bed, now you've got to sleep in it sort of thing. Like, the one thing that annoys me when people do these big, oh my god, universe-shattering things, the Flash TV show was a great example of this. They did the Flashpoint thing, and he lived in his Flashpoint universe for a day, and I think that would have happened, and it annoyed me that they didn't sit in it for a bit longer. And I think if they'd have put the snap in Endgame, it'd have felt the same way. Now, yes, of course, it does still jump ahead we reckon about a year or so. But there's not that they would have still rectified that in one movie, and I don't think that should have happened.
Now, I have to tread very carefully because I watched a spoiler-free review which had a spoiler in.
Boy.
And it's not even technically a spoiler because I did know it. We're not going to get into it. But I think the way this movie will be structured is very different than people are expecting. They've said publicly, if you've watched the trailers, you haven't seen more than a couple of shots out of the first 15 minutes. Which
is why that new leak with the 5 minutes from throughout the movie, which I haven't even seen. I haven't seen because I've put. But the thing is that's why that almost shattered their hopes of what they wanted people to see.
To say that you can put that much footage from the first 15 minutes and people have, honestly, I don't think, even I, who knows annoyingly what is going to happen for the other acts of this movie, what really takes place. Because everyone already knows one of the things that is sort of happening, definitely, and I'll explain what all this was later. I'm going to make a note of me saying this, and I'll explain all this later.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it in theories, but to know that it is happening is just annoying because I don't know anything else.
Yeah.
And to just be like now, oh, it is that. That. I'm treading very carefully here.
Okay, I will talk what my theories is from watching the trailers, and you don't get to. You can still talk about your theories of what happens, but you don't get to talk about...
Just one more thing before we get on to theories. Yeah. So, unprecedented, we've said that a million times. What would be the worst thing and the best thing, not in terms of theories or anything necessarily, but what is the worst thing or best thing that could ruin this movie or make it perfect in your eyes? So one bad thing, one good thing.
Okay, ruin the movie.
What would just, if this just happened, what would just...
If Captain Marvel turns up and just, slaps Thanos to the floor, in the first... I reckon Thanos should not be defeated until the final bit of the third act.
Okay.
I think it should be defeat Thanos, rectify the mistake within a matter of 10 minutes.
Okay.
The last thing I want to happen is for them to defeat Thanos in the first 10 minutes and then spend the rest of the movie almost trying to undo the mistake, and I think that would be too much.
Okay.
The best thing for me to happen...
I have a really good best.
And it's part of my
Everyone will
theory.
hate me for this.
I want the Infinity Watch. I don't want Captain America, Tony Stark, or all to die. I want them to become the Infinity Watch. I think the Time Stone will go... So we'll go into theories with this. I think the Time Stone will go back to Doctor Strange. Mind Stone will go back to Vision. Soul Stone will go to Tony Stark. No, to Captain America. Reality Stone will go to Tony Stark. Power Stone will go to Thor.
We'll come to this in a minute.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
That's
worst thing I would say that could happen would be... Oh, let me do my best first because I can't remember the worst. Best thing to happen would be... I'm going to do two. I'm going to cheat. Because I would absolutely...
rules, James.
I would applaud every single person involved if they stay dead.
Oh,
It would be...
it would be incredible, but I don't know how Far From Home would work.
It would be terrible in terms of everything...
Say that in
comes
that
after you.
universe.
You kill everyone, blah, 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 blah. I think it would be awful, but I think it would genuinely be the most incredible movie ever. Maybe
Ballsy.
you find out they're in another universe and all their needs happen in another universe. Something like that, but you don't see those characters interacting. Something finite and ending where it is like, no, when we say post-Endgame MCU, we mean, because there's two now. And maybe that's too complicated, maybe whatever. But
I
would
think
just
it'd be
love it
interesting.
The other one I want is sort of along the lines of you, but I think some of them are definitely dead, is that we would have they won't call it the Illuminati, I don't think, but the Illuminati.
Oh yeah, because the Namor, Black Panther, Doctor Strange.
Yeah, that sort of thing, and you have the post-credit scene effectively would be some sort of pact between the three of them, or four of them, or five of them, or whatever, and not the Avengers, not anyone you see on screen, but you know they're working towards something, and that would be the story of Phase 4 is what they're putting into place.
Yeah, I mean, they're saying they're going cosmic, and we'll talk about what we think will happen post-credits in a second.
Okay, so I must say, I need to say my worst thing. What would ruin the movie for me? And I think...
As if I'm sitting there talking to you for the whole time?
Honestly, to ruin the movie, I think the only thing that they could do... The Captain Marvel thing would piss me right off. To be fair, that would piss me off with any character. If any character distinctly gets the final blow...
Ant-Man is just going to slap him and it's done.
I want a clear team effort. I want a clear...
It needs to be almost be Age of Ultron team effort, how the three of them join together. Obviously, Age of Ultron's a bit of a...
I'm not even fussed about that. I don't care if Tony Stark gets the final hit on him. I care that we have 10 minutes of fight where you watch each of them and they are all fully giving it their all before.
Yeah.
I don't even care if Captain Marvel delivers the final blow again, as long as she couldn't do it without them. As long as she just doesn't
turn up and just...
Yes. But I think if they brought everyone back from the dead, every single person, if no one dies in this movie, and there's no way...
Like Loki comes back, Heimdall comes back, the entire Asgardian...
Yeah, I'm not even going to be like... I want Loki back, and I really want Heimdall back, because I want Idris Elba to do something. They can recast him if they want. But what I will say is, if they bring... by and large, everyone back. So everyone from the dead comes back. None of the main ones die. Loki back, Heimdall back, Vision back.
People who didn't die with the snap.
Yeah, I'll just be thoroughly like...
Well, what was the point? You had an opportunity.
Yeah, even if they bring more back and kill Captain America or someone like that, I'll still be like...
At least they did something.
But I'll be like, but why did you kill them? Why didn't you just snap them? What was the point in killing them?
Yeah.
Because you just brought them back in the same way and it was... Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay, so
theories.
Now we're talking theories. I'll talk my theory.
We'll go back and forth.
Yeah, and then
little theories. Try not to do the whole plot of the movie.
Right.
Do you want me to go first?
I'll go first. My first theory, and I'm going to start with what happened to the snaps. So the obvious theory coming straight out of Infinity War, whether they were in the Soul Stone.
Yes.
I don't think that's true anymore. I actually think that they're going to go back in time and say and undo the mistake instead.
Yes.
That's my first theory. I don't think they're going to be in Soul Stone like people assumed.
To build on that, I think what would make, because again, without spoiling, a lot of reviews are saying has a lot of emotional beats.
A lot of people, they're really.
I have a really strong feeling that they will be in the Soul Stone, but that's not how they get them back. How they they have to get them back in a different way, whether it be time travel or whatever. But I think it is time travel to be better. But whatever that is, but I feel they will be in the Soul Stone, and that will allow them to talk to people. Can you imagine seeing that moment where they have the Soul Stone in their hand and they can project,
almost like a Resurrection Stone.
Yeah, they can talk to Doctor Strange, and he can tell them what they have to do, but they can't be there. Star-Lord can look Gamora in the eyes, but he can't.
But Star-Lord's there with her.
Oh yeah, he is.
Yeah.
I
forgot he got snapped.
Like all these people can see these people, they can talk to them, but they can't reach them, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I feel that would really. You're talking about tears.
Bucky and Steve, Peter and Tony.
You could feel the.
Well, even people who aren't there, like you get that would be amazing sort of one. You get Hawkeye and his family.
Yeah. Imagine Thor seeing half of Asgard just dead. But can you imagine that you can see them, you know they're in there, but you can't bring them back. They're dead. They're gone. But to go on the thing you say, I think time travel is happening. Is happening. I am in two minds of how it happens. It will either be, three minds. There's three ways it will.
So is this your bit of theory?
This is my theory. It's three time travel methods. You've got quantum realm, and they jump through little time holes, like at the end of Ant-Man.
Yep.
You've got time stone.
So they get hold of that.
They get hold of the time stone and they use that. And the third one is because on some leaked thing, which could all be guff, and I honestly don't. This is the one I least believe in, but I'm just going to say it so I can say I was right. Is the thing that Tony uses at the start of Civil War, the mind thing, the thing that goes back into your memories.
Oh yeah.
I feel they could use that, but what I think about the rest of the plot, they would have to actually be there to undo stuff. So I don't think that's necessarily likely. But the bath, that's it. It's called bath. What it's
had to work on a new acronym for that.
What I think it might do is allow them to pinpoint places in time, perhaps, so they can get the time stone and then they go, okay, I'm thinking of a memory. Take me back to this memory, or something of that.
They can use it. Okay, so my next theory, and it's a bit of a weird, longish one. All the marketing we've seen with the new, well, let's call it what it is, quantum realm suits.
I don't know if it is, but go on.
The
suits, the red ones. We all know what they're on about.
I don't think they're real. Now, a lot of people have said, well, they have to be because a lot of their marketing's through it, especially things like pop vinyls.
You don't think they're real?
I think it's, you know how the Hulk turned up in the Battle of the Wakanda?
You think they've CGI'd suits onto them?
Do you know why?
Because they look CGI? Because they do.
Well, yeah, they do. But do you know why?
Why?
I was looking at stuff in the pop vinyls. Massive fan of pop vinyls. Mm-hmm. Now, I was thinking, but they can't do that because at the end of the day, they've done loads of marketing, including toys with it. But then there was a pop vinyl from Infinity War of Hulk busting out the Hulk Buster out there.
True, but that never released.
No, but it did release. You can buy it.
You can't.
You can. It's on Pop in the Box. A little bit of that.
Fact check this. I will take, to your point, the Lego sets again have the same outputs.
Lego annoyed me.
No, and there was a Lego set where Bruce Banner busts out the Hulk Buster.
But anyway,
to add your point.
So, but adding to this, the fact that the Russos have turned around and said that there's parts of the trailers and stuff that just aren't in the movie, that aren't used. I mean, Mark Ruffalo said that he'd filmed the death scene as well from Infinity War. So I think they're I think there's genuinely going to be things that they've released, like the "Do You Trust Me?" of course, handshake between Tony Stark and Captain America. They said they knew to. Yeah, that's not in the movie. It's not used.
They said it might not play out in the same way, which I think might just mean the conversation of the same thing happens differently.
But I could imagine, as you've said, the idea of not marketing this movie, I think they've just gone, well, we should just release what we want and get people to go there and then do something different.
I think it would be very cool, but I don't think
Marvel would allow it.
Anyone, because to argue the toss against myself, even though I haven't made that point yet, it would be cool to go, I've got a pop that's from a trailer.
Get used to this. James will do this quite a lot.
Imagine saying, I've got a Funko Pop that's just from the trailer.
Yeah.
That would be really cool.
It would be.
But so I don't think it's possible. I think they only put one shot in because whatever they do with those suits, which is presumably time traveling to a degree, is not. They haven't showed any of that in the trailer, so I assume they put the suits in to go, we have to sell some toys. This is because other than that, the costumes all change in tiny ways, and if you're going to release a movie 1 year later, you need to go, you need these new suits because those suits are so last year. So that's I think that's the only reason they gave them the suits in the whole uniform, and it unifies them, and you can tell from if you take one picture of those suits, you know, oh, this is Endgame. This isn't Infinity War. This isn't this. Yeah. But we'll see.
Your next.
Okay, my next theory. So, what should I say?
He's got a lot.
I've got many. I'm going to do my Far From Home theory, which is sort of an Endgame theory.
Yeah, you've told me about this. This is an interesting one. And
which is okay. So I've heard several things. Okay, to say Far From Home, there's a lot of talk about how much of it is real and how much of it is a theory. Is how much of it is in.
Well, yeah, because Mysterio's been involved and stuff like that.
And the main one that everyone sort of accepts is true is that the monsters are just projections by Mysterio, because Mysterio's a bad guy. He's pretending to be a good guy. Blah blah blah.
Trying to be a hero, sort of Aldrich Killian sort of thing.
Yes.
Trying to stop the Mandarin.
Yeah. So what I think is that the movie is in fact a Peter Parker dream.
Yeah.
Which
he has once he snapped.
Which he has either once he snapped or just at any point. It depends where he ends up, but what it means is they can end Peter Parker wherever they want. So, for example, one of the things
that could be the one thing that's not rectified at the end of the Endgame.
Yeah, the one thing that pisses everyone off is that Rhodey got paralysed and then was walking. By the time the credits rolled, he was walking again because Tony Stark stuck some metal on his legs.
Which is Tony Stark.
It takes the stakes away from Civil War. But imagine something, so say Peter Parker lost an arm or lost a leg or something, just something that
stopped him from being
in the final fight, stopped him not necessarily being Peter Parker, but would be something that you would have to explore in a movie, but they can't show it. So maybe this Far From Home thing we're seeing, this opening is, even if it's just the first half of the movie, it's just a dream and he wakes up.
Coma sort of thing.
Yeah.
And he wakes up without a leg, without an arm sort of thing.
And I feel the idea that, because it makes no sense to me that Marvel would a movie, given that the only thing that justifies it is that Sony is separate and Sony will do whatever they want. They'll demand we need a Spider-Man movie. But I feel Marvel, given the stakes of Endgame, I feel Marvel would have just gone, okay, we'll give you $100 million from Endgame. Don't make a Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
They would have just given them money.
Yeah.
And it means that then there is a Spider-Man twist coming, and I think it's this. There's been theories around that the movie isn't actually coming out and Peter Parker's dead or something like that, which I think is a bit too crazy.
Yeah,
but I think that there's something off about this movie, and they should have.
For Kevin Feige to have turned around and said it's the end of phase, that's the end of phase 3. I think that's when I go, okay, what's happening?
The other thing is, there's no trailer. Endgame comes out tonight. Okay, the last trailer we got was 3 months ago, something like that.
We got sneak peeks.
It is basic knowledge of putting a movie out. If you've got especially in the MCU, there is always the last trailer out before the next one most of the time.
Yeah, so, but the trailer will be released tonight during the film.
No, it would have been trailers released always come out a night before or a day before, so people, because they're not just going to air it in cinemas, because people are going anyway. They don't have to. They need to make people go, oh, well, when you go tonight, you can also...
It's a bit strange. You've had the teasers, though. When's it out?
It comes out in July. There's final trailers out for movies coming out after Spider-Man because they want to play in front of Endgame. And for Spider-Man not to put one, it's either them going, don't think about Spider-Man, think about Marvel, or them going, we've got something for this second trailer.
You need to wait till you see.
You have to see Endgame. And it's the only thing. They've been teasing it coming out for ages and they just haven't. And I feel they've just been going, because they haven't. A couple of weeks ago they said it comes out on Monday. Tom Holland said it comes out on Monday or something like that. And then they just didn't. And it's because people don't care because they're so jazzed about Endgame. They're like, but we don't care. We'll wait.
Okay.
So they hyped it.
When did the trailers for Ant-Man and the Wasp come out? Because obviously that's the post. That's the first post. Infinity War.
I think there was a trailer that dropped in front of Infinity War with it.
That's interesting. Then.
It really is very. As someone who is
so
very
something's going to happen in Endgame to do with
Peter
why
Parker.
why Far From Home's happening.
Because Spider-Man is going to be the crux of MCU. Spider-Man is the most popular Marvel character. Spider-Man is going to become the sort of centre point of the MCU.
Yeah, but could it just be a case of So they announced that at the end of Endgame, people will come back to life. Peter Parker comes back. Nick Fury doesn't. And thus, they didn't want to release a trailer for Far From Home because you then see that Chameleon, per se...
But I don't think you put that in a trailer if it's a twist, because it just makes it boring for the first however long.
No, but if you release a trailer from Far From Home now where you go, Nick Fury's in, and then you go, well, Nick Fury's dead, so what the hell?
But we know... I just think Peter Parker being the centre point of the MCU from here makes sense. And especially that everyone loves Tom Holland's Peter Parker and Spider-Man.
Yeah,
and I feel they're gonna just, as they do, it works when they go high stakes, high emotion. So I think they're just gonna go, what if he's dead, or what if he hasn't got an arm? And so maybe that's the end. You see him without an arm, and then they release a trailer, and you just see him. You see all this stuff with Mysterio, and then the end shot of the trailer is just him waking up, and you're like, oh, he actually doesn't. He's not just going to get some robot arm and it's going to be fixed. He just doesn't know what to do, and that's maybe the second act of a movie or something like that.
Well, okay. So my next theory is kind of how it gets rectified. What happens? How does Thanos get defeated?
Oh, that's my other theory. God.
So we know for a fact that both Captain America and Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans are doing Marvel movies post this. Now I still think Tony Stark will appear in Spider-Man because if he survives anyway. So the question is, will they die or what will happen? My idea, Tony Stark will use... So obviously the way you see the end of Infinity War, the Infinity Gauntlet, it screws up Thanos. Like, his army is fried, he's very damaged, obviously he survived.
You said army.
Arm is fried, not army. His army's fried. His army's fried too. Anyway, so if one of the Avengers was to use the Infinity Gauntlet, they would die.
Yes.
So I think the way that happens is, so Cap in the entirety of Infinity War was saying, we don't sacrifice lives, we don't trade lives, sort of thing, and that's what Vision does, is what he does. He trades his life by using the Infinity Gauntlet to save everyone else and he dies. Or Tony Stark does it the same way. If Tony Stark was to die, Captain America would go back, and I would like to see him with Peggy having that dance.
Okay.
Even if he doesn't stay there, I want that moment. That moment would be beautiful, and I think it'd be a really nice farewell. It'd be the emotional thing that Chris Evans had said. It'd be that farewell to Chris Evans's run as Captain America. I also think that this could be the last we see of Thor as well. I think the three of them being the crux of this film, as the marketing seems to suggest, I think the three of them will say goodbye, and I think no one's expecting it because obviously Thor Ragnarok almost gave a new lease of life to Thor. Yes. But that's why I think Marvel could do it, because I think they'd go, well, he's had his run, this is it, and everyone would go, no, it would hit harder. So. Okay,
so my last theory.
Yeah. Then we'll go into what's going to happen post Endgame.
Well, I've got one more thing before that.
Please.
Okay. My last theory is that Thanos himself will be defeated before, like the thing you said you didn't want. I think Thanos will be defeated at one, but and I hadn't thought of who until just then, but there will be a secondary. Everyone is talking about time travel. It's the lead theory is that time travel will take place at some point in this movie. Yeah. However important it is, it's happening. I think there will be a secondary villain being possibly Kang the Conqueror.
And that's how you introduce Fantastic Four?
Maybe, but just in terms of there's another big bad who comes into play in the time travel, and it's like some time hopping caper. You're running away from this person and you're also trying to do all this stuff, and it puts stakes and it puts time on it. I don't know how much more I can take of Thanos smacking them to the ground. If they have that one and Thanos smacks them to the ground, what's the point? How do they get it?
Well, they managed to retreat. My theory of the plot. Thanos smacks them to the ground in the first. So we see the shots from the trailer of them creating this plan, and then say we go, second-handed. Thanos smacks them to the ground, kills a few of them, outright dead, right? Then they spend the next act having retreated, going, we need to find a way of stopping this.
Yeah.
And so they go back in time, and then they face Thanos again in the third act, but this time they've got some Infinity Stones. They're able to level the playing field. And then they have the massive fight in the Avengers compound. That's my thought of the like, Thanos realises he's missing a stone, and he goes, wait, what the hell? Oh crap, those pesky Avengers, old Scooby-Doo sort of thing, and then goes to them rather than them coming to him.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do next is we're going to do quick time. Not that quick.
So start again. Alive or Dead. So we're going to just explain the game a little bit. So
what we're going to do is we're going to do quick time, Alive or Dead. So we're going to have a little bet on this for apparently a Funko Pop.
Yeah.
And so you have to say whether the character is alive or dead, and if they're alive, where are they?
Yeah. Okay. Do it.
And dead means just dead in the ground.
Is there other options? Like, can we go alive,
You can
but
say
not in the timeline sort of thing? Alive somewhere else. Alive.
you can say other things other than alive or dead, but what I'm saying is you have to be
They'll have
fast,
to be- yeah.
hard. You can't be flippy floppy on this.
Yeah. All right. Go.
And you have to be 100% correct to win. Okay. Go on. Captain America.
Alive. No, dead. No, dead. Dead.
And I'm saying he is back in the past with Peggy, and will be effectively. He won't be in any more movies.
So
but he'll sort of
my
live out
want
his past.
theory.
Yes.
Yeah.
What you said earlier. Thor.
Yeah, alive. Off with the Guardians, I reckon.
And I say alive, new Asgard, either on Earth or somewhere, but definitely starting new Asgard.
Yeah.
Hawkeye.
Dead.
And I think he will be alive, and he will be with his family training up his daughter Kate Bishop. Maybe retired, but
I think Kate Bishop's a separate person. But
something to do with his. I think Kate Bishop, or the character that she is, will be his daughter. Even if it's just Kate Barton, it's gonna be her, and he'll be training her up, even if he's retired. That sort of relationship.
yeah.
Rhodey, Mr. War Machine.
Yeah, no, alive. He'll take over Thunderbolt Ross's. I reckon Thunderbolt Ross will die, and I reckon he'll take over that
Dead
position.
as knobs. So dead. I feel bad for him, but Iron Man has Spider-Man, so he doesn't need Rhodey anymore. So Rhodey just does nothing. So Rhodey will be dead.
Yeah.
He's dead. Pepper Potts.
Yeah, alive. I reckon running Stark Industries.
Okay, I think alive and family with Mr. Stark. Mr. Ant-Man.
Yeah, no, be alive. I definitely think his daughter won't come back. So I think he'll be part of the Avengers, given that new lease of life. I'm going to stop this from ever happening. He's given a purpose through the Avengers.
So I think part of New Avengers with the Wasp, he won't be definitely with the Wasp. His daughter won't be dead. Everything will be fine, but he'll just be on the New Avengers team, and Wasp will be there too.
Yeah.
Hulk / Bruce Banner.
Yeah, I think Dr. Hulk's coming. I think Hulk will be as smart as Banner. I think he'll be part of the New Avengers, but like as the Eric Selvig sort of character in the background, sort of like doing the bits and pieces for them, and it'll eventually lead to She-Hulk in the future.
Okay, well, I think it won't be Dr. Banner, it'll just Dr. Hulk, whatever. I'm lost. It will be a Hulk or Banner, but he will be
able to switch.
He'll be sort of content in that, but he'll be sort of retired. He won't be on the New Avengers team, but I assume will be set up at the end of this.
Yeah.
Rocket.
Yeah, alive. I can't see a point in killing him.
Yeah.
I think if he'll be off with the Guardians with Hulk, with Thor. Hulk.
I think alive, but I'm just gonna differ slightly. Definitely alive. I assume he probably will be with the Guardians, but just to make it different, I'm gonna say that he will be off with Groot on their own.
Well, they're getting talk of getting a prequel movie, which will be quite
Maybe,
cool,
which is why I'm saying maybe I'll be off together. Valkyrie.
Yeah, alive. I don't see again like with Rocky, like secondary characters like that. I can almost go, well, if they kill them, there's no real levity to it.
Okay, I say alive and on New Asgard with Thor.
Fair enough.
Wong.
Yeah, alive. Sanctum Sanctorum again. They need that, I think.
Dead to give Doctor Strange. Basically, they're going to kill him, and I think it will give Doctor Strange some somewhere to go in his movie because...
Well, Mordo's coming back, and with Dormammu and Nightmare is the next suggestion as well.
I know, but I feel Wong's purpose is like mini Doctor Strange, and that didn't work out very well for Rhodey, did it? So I think they'll just...
Recast!
If they can kill someone right now, let's just kill Wong and it...
Bring Terrence Williams in as well.
Terrence Howard.
Howard. Who's Terrence Williams?
I don't know. Okoye.
Yeah, no, alive again, secondary character. I think back in Wakanda will be fine.
I-
Or new movie, Black Widow, Okoye, Scarlet Witch, because they were freaking incredible.
I feel Okoye back at Wakanda. Honestly, I think they're going to work very hard to put Wakanda in exactly the same place it was.
Yeah, because
It will be. I think if you look at Wakanda at the end of it, I don't think anything will have really changed. I think if anything does change, they might shift the Dora Milaje to be not just servants of the throne. They might be more their own thing.
almost like international.
Yeah, just because I think the development of Black Panther was they realised that it was you can't always trust the throne, and you need to choose what you do, and that's what I made me think. Nebula.
Dead. No, I think she'll die. I think she'll like I think Thanos will take her down with him. I think.
I think dead, but sacrifice, not take down. I think she will sacrifice herself.
To almost weaken Thanos. It'll be a
Potentially.
weaken.
I think it will be, if she dies, she's going to die by her own hands, and maybe she knows that they can't do it and they need something, and I think she'll just sacrifice herself. I think potentially, to go even further, I think if they kill Thanos, I think she'd kill herself, because I don't think she knows
She hasn't
what
got purpose
to do.
after that, especially without
with her
Kamala.
life. Yeah. So I think that would also... So if she doesn't... I think she will lead herself to her own death.
Yes.
At whatever point that is.
Fair enough.
Happy Hogan.
Yeah, alive. Yeah.
I'm just going to say dead, because... Just to go opposite. And also, I don't know where he'd be, so I may as well...
Well, he's in Far From Home, which obviously, I mean, your theory.
But we haven't
changes
seen him in a
that.
trailer, and maybe he isn't.
He's in Far From Home Pops.
Yeah, but maybe he isn't.
Yeah.
You said that earlier.
Yeah, fair enough.
Tony Stark missed out Iron Man.
I'm gonna go
I know
against
exactly where I think he
myself. I think he's retired.
But what's he doing?
I think he's just retired. He's gone to a farm like he said he would at the end of Avengers: Ultra Ultron.
I call... Okay, this is sort of a... I'm basically saying director of S.H.I.E.L.D.,
Yeah.
but I mean
The new Avengers. whatever it is.
non-Iron Man suit. He's in a suit. He's
Yeah.
running... He's in charge of whatever is in charge of the Avengers sort of thing.
No, I reckon
So whether it be... Even if he's like the head of the UN, I'd buy. Something like that, where it's... He's in a suit, so he's being a hero behind a desk, not
Yeah.
a hero on the streets. That role.
I
But
think,
he will be
he'll
active.
appear in
That's why I think
Spider-Man
that.
in the future.
I think he'll still... He's worthwhile. If you pay him...
Or they'll do what they did in the comics where he's actually a hologram inside of a Tony Stark Iron Man suit. which
Oh,
is weird.
maybe something like that. But I think in this movie he'll just be in a suit at the end.
Yeah.
Captain Marvel.
Yeah, alive and kicking. Yeah, she's leading the new Avengers, I reckon.
Oh, I don't think... I think alive and kicking, definitely. She will not be leading the new Avengers.
Back off into space with the Skrulls.
No, I think she'll be on the new Avengers team, but I don't think she will be leading them. Principle being, one, she's not displayed any leadership skills, and two, it would just cause an uproar. People would just be pissed off. She will lead it one day, but I think it will be a veteran to lead it now. Potentially Ant-Man and the Wasp. But I'm not going to say that definitely. I feel maybe even... Oh, actually, no, because I think something else. Anyway, I don't think she'll lead it, but I think she'll be on the team.
Cool. Go.
Black Widow.
Yeah, alive. I think she could lead. She could lead the new Avengers. I think she'll do the action. I'm going to go alive. She's leading whatever the new...
Things.
Yeah, S.H.I.E.L.D. What you thought Tony Stark would be doing.
Dead as knobs. Again.
Really?
She is as dead as Rhodey. I would put money on her death, because they gave her a prequel movie.
Yeah, but I think
And they don't need to keep her
wanted-
alive. They've got too many... Not too many. That's not bad. They've got plenty of female characters. They haven't been able to kill a female character off in the entire MCU.
That's true.
I can't think of one they've killed off.
No, I mean, they killed off technically some in the snap, but...
Yeah, but I mean, we'll come to those in a second.
Yeah.
But I think Black Widow is the original. I think she can die. She's sort of done her arc. I think a sort of sacrifice for herself.
I think both her and Banner will end up together. I think that will be.
She could sacrifice herself for Banner, but I don't. I'm very confident she's dead. They gave her a prequel movie. They could do movies with her in the past for years, but I think she's dead.
Fair enough.
Okay, so then we have to go through even quicker, yeah? Characters that are snapped, and if you think they're... Or characters that are dead, and if you think
They are the ones that are alive.
What?
There aren't many left. Shuri. Shuri's still alive, isn't she?
No, she's not.
Did she get snapped?
She's snapped. Okay, so Star-Lord, alive. This is just alive or dead at the end of the movie. Spider-Man.
Yeah, alive.
I agree with both those, just Shuri?
Alive, new Iron Man. I think Ironheart.
I would say alive, but I think she'll just be back on Wakanda. Groot?
Yeah, alive.
I also say alive. Wasp?
No, dead. I don't think Wasp is coming back. I don't think she was received very well.
Wasp, I would say alive, and if they kill her, I think that would be the biggest mistake ever because she hasn't done anything yet.
Well, that's why
I think she'll lead.
I think that's why they.
I think she has strong potential to be leading.
I wouldn't leave that one with no one.
Because I think her and Ant-Man are OG team members, and I think they might be the only OG team members to be on it after. Falcon.
Dead.
Alive because he has a TV show. Bucky.
No, crap.
You said it now. Bucky.
Bucky's alive. He'll be the new Captain America.
Alive, not new Captain America. He has a TV show.
I still think he's the new Captain America. He's still alive.
Drax.
Dead. But I think he'll be unsnapped and then die killing Thanos. Because his whole arc is to do with Thanos.
Alive. I would have said dead.
Oh, he's in Guardians 3.
Yes, I would have said dead if James Gunn hadn't have just been rehired. I would have been like, he's out, because they'll just kill him off because they don't want to deal with it.
Oh, he's alive.
Boom!
You're going to win that.
Black Panther.
Yeah, alive. Yeah.
Scarlet Witch.
Alive, I think she'll bring in the X-Men. In the future, I don't think it's...
Alive and Doctor Strange. This is more a one, I think.
With...
I think Doctor Strange sequel, because other people have said it. I think that's where I want to see her.
WandaVision's a thing.
I know.
It's a stupid name. It's
a great name, I think, WandaVision. It's like...
No, because I'm thinking WandaVision, as in...
Oh, I'm thinking Wanda's Vision.
Well, that will be set in between Civil War and Infinity War.
It depends where they end up. But we can discuss this after we watch it. Yeah. Mantis.
Alive.
Alive because there's no point killing her.
Yeah.
Gamora.
Dead. Nah, she's dead.
Alive. I think it would be really bad of them to kill the only real, no offense Mantis, female Guardian to aid, just to give a man
Captain
something
Marvel,
to do.
But be up in cosmic with them.
Well, you didn't say that, wasn't you?
I didn't say that, but I did, but
Loki.
can still go dead. Loki's dead. Nah, he's dead.
I think... I think I'm going to say alive, but here's what I actually think will happen. I'm going to say alive because there's no point saying dead. But I'm going to say alive, but I think Thor will have the chance to save him and Loki, because if they're going back in time, I think Thor will try to save Loki. But I think Loki will be like, fuck you, I don't trust you, sort of thing. You're just trying to do something. And then Thor will have to know that he could have saved his brother and he didn't try hard enough. Because I don't think Thor's dead, and I think that's where he's going.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
He has to, because Loki's the last person he has. Loki was the last person he has, because Valkyrie knew, everyone else is new, but he had Loki and Heimdall.
Which is why I think in a way Thor could die, or could be his last movie.
I think it's too cheap to get Thor die. He's lost everything. Oh, and then he dies too.
Well, he's got nothing left to fight for.
But what I mean is he's got nothing.
And he screwed up killing Thanos.
But that's what I mean. He's got nothing left he's got nothing to die for.
Yeah.
He doesn't. If he dies, what's the sadness factor if Thor dies?
Oh, he's Thor. He's cool.
But he's dead. But that's it. Oh.
No one mourns for him in a way, I suppose.
Yeah. Vision.
Dead.
Alive. All that. Maybe different. Maybe not with the Infinity Stone, Mind Stone. But I think he is alive.
Fair enough.
Because I think he's really cool, and they haven't really done much with him.
Like him.
Nick Fury.
Yeah, alive. That man will never die, including Samuel
I'm
Jackson.
going to say alive, but I feel there's... I'm going to say alive, but I think this could be a chance... Not a chance
Well,
to
he's
kill him.
another one who's not signed any more deals, you see.
But I'm just saying it would be a good... He's in Far From Home, so I'm going to say alive. Even though I said I theorise that's not real. But... Actually, you know what? I'll say dead. I'll say dead. I feel it's a good end for Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
He
brings in
no
Captain
offense to Samuel
Marvel.
Jackson. He's going to die at some point in his life, yeah? Wouldn't you much rather... Wouldn't you love that he had a big finale moment in this?
Which, just so you're saying, come back in Endgame but still die by the end of it.
All I'm saying for all these is just dead by the end of the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like he will die because then it gives him he'll have some moment. If he doesn't die here, he'll die in Far From Home.
Yeah.
I think he needs to go so he gets a moment, because the last thing you want is Samuel Jackson to conk him and he's just not in movies anymore. A line where it says Nick Fury died.
Yeah.
He's too important.
Off-screen death. Yeah, fair enough.
And finally, Doctor Strange.
Yeah, no, alive. Yeah. Alive, New Avengers.
And something more. I don't think he'll be New Avengers, but I believe something like Illuminati.
Okay. Right, let's go in credits.
Okay. See, now, this is coming out, we're coming at a very interesting time, because the movie has aired... The movie must have now come out around the world on like their first screenings publicly, but all the press screenings and the premiere didn't play the credits, and the press screening didn't have a post-credit scene.
I can't imagine them not seeing it.
I have two theories, which are basically the two ways it would go. There isn't one, and they wanted to create a finite ending.
Yeah.
And the Russo brothers wanted to make it so the whole movie was the post-credit. In fact, the ending of the movie is the post-credit scene, so if there is a lead into something else, it is the end of the movie.
Like, sort of set up.
Sort of like Age of Ultron, where you see the New Avengers at the end of the movie, as opposed to just putting it in a post-credit scene. I feel that could work.
Was Age of Ultron post-credits? I'll do it myself.
It was fine, I'll do it myself.
Fair enough.
But I feel that... I honestly think it would be a real... Not dick move, but just like a everyone's sitting through the credits.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long ass credits.
They're like 10 minutes, I think, because of the...
Well, Infinity War was huge. I mean, we're watching the SFX team on that.
Yeah,
massive.
But just, I feel it would be a real dick move to not put, even if it is just the Fantastic Four logo lights up.
That's it.
Something like that, or Tony gets a phone call from Reed Richards. Something stupid and irrelevant, and it doesn't really mean anything coming in the near future, but they have to put something, even if it says the Fantastic Four are coming, just a line at the end.
Like they do with Thanos will return at the end of
Yes.
Okay.
So, you go first. I've got two different things it could be.
I think it will, so I've got another two.
This could be mid or post, by the way, we're not differentiating. This is just the teaser for next time.
Yeah. So they've said they're going cosmic.
Mm-hmm.
So I think one, and this is one that a good friend of ours, Tom Gorman, said to me, and I think definitely will happen, satellite crashing. We think it's a satellite, it's actually a spaceship, and it's got the number 4 logo on it. Mm-hmm. I don't think they've cast Fantastic Four yet. So I think they'll just show that. But I think that's where we're going. I don't think they've purchased Fox at this point for no reason. I think they've done it to get certain characters in. I don't think it'll be X-Men yet, because X-Men's got Dark Phoenix and stuff coming out.
And Feige said X-Men aren't coming for a while, which I do believe.
Yeah.
See,
but my second one...
Oh, I'm just going to build on your... Is it the same Fantastic Four?
No, carry on.
See, to build on your Fantastic Four, my Fantastic Four theory, there's two. One is it's just going to be a logo or a name or something, which is the basic one, because I feel that's... They bought Fox. Feige has been very clear that X-Men aren't coming for a while. Don't get your hopes up. But he's stayed very mum on Fantastic Four, and I feel they're just coming. It's too easy to put. X-Men is going to take a lot of MacGyvering the MCU, but with Fantastic Four, it's just new characters, and I feel he's had it. He knows.
So do you think they'll bring the current X-Men into the MCU?
No, hell to no. But I think they've got to figure out a way to make mutants around the MCU without it seeming contrived. That'll take a while, and I feel it'll be very much Scarlet Witch going mutants.
House of M, I reckon.
Yeah, but in reverse.
Yeah.
But I feel Fantastic Four here. I honestly wouldn't be surprised. I really wouldn't if. And I thought on the day they got the Fantastic Four, the day Disney bought Fox,
they'd announce cast.
Feige was going to go, okay, and these are your Fantastic Four. And I really thought...
I wouldn't be surprised if
because that would be incredible. And I think
I think if he called up any single person at this point of the MCU, coming back off the back of Infinity War and Endgame, anyone would kill to be in any movie, anywhere. He could call them up and go, will you do it? And people would just say yes. So I think he's cast them. I think we might not get a picture of them. I would love to see them in costume.
Like a leg.
I think it's a bit early for that, but what I could see is them, even if they're in civilian clothes, you could see the first family of Marvel
I think like
coming into a building,
sort of thing.
back building, or even if it is just the credits, you have rolling up at the end, you get Mr. Fantastic, this person, Mrs.
Oh yeah, and you sort of like they were a cameo at some point, like a Stan Lee. Like Stan Lee's having a coffee with them.
No, but even if they're not, I'm saying even if they're not in the movie, their names just roll up in the credits and it goes Fantastic Four.
Introducing.
Introducing. When they do the new Doctor, the Doctor appears and it's just in the credits it says introducing us. Just if it's just the name.
That's giving me chills now. That'd be quite cool.
That would be, and that's what when I say there's no post-credit scene, there isn't. They just cut the last credits off.
Yeah. Okay. My second theory.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
It'll be something like there'll be a character in Endgame who's able to see into the multiverse. It'll either be Ant-Man who goes to the quantum realm, or it'll be someone like that who goes to the quantum realm.
I'd say Doctor Strange if it was good.
Well, yeah, Doctor Strange if anyone. And he shows someone else, whoever's left as the new Avengers, saying something is coming, and we get a show of the multiverse, and we get like whoever the new big villain will be is like Galactus or Kang or someone, whoever that next villain is. But in that you see the X-Men, you see, you know, a different timeline where Thanos won and it's done, or where you see the Fantastic Four or something like that.
I would absolutely love that.
Yeah.
But there is no way in hell. I don't think that is possible just because it's far too complicated to stick on the end of a complicated. I mean, what I assume is going to be quite a complicated.
Well, because he said that, you know, when he was talking about the 14 million things, they were talking about, and in Doctor Strange, the Ancient One goes.
That's what I think. I think Doctor
Ancient
Strange,
One. There's one who's coming back, and there's a character coming back who's been announced, and we don't know, like Crossbones and Ancient
exciting.
One. Well, it's just time travel.
That's why time travel is such a prevalent theory, because it's the only thing. I'll be blown away if it's not. I will be so happy if it's not, because I'll be like, literally no one said this. But
I wonder how. But yeah, so that theory, the control.
I feel like Doctor Strange 2, it will be a multiverse exploration. It will be
Him
a
going
whole
into
movie about
trying to
multiverse.
explain what it
Yeah,
was.
because I think if you do it as a post-credit scene, while it's great for us fans, and that's what they're for, so maybe. I would.
As I said earlier, when Thanos arrives, no one knew who it was.
Like I would love it if it was you'd see different Spider-Men and you see just
Miles Morales. I could
Tobey
see
Maguire.
that. I could see that is where it's going with Far From Home. I think Far From Home will be Tom Holland.
No, because they made it before Into the Spider-Verse, and they were. That's what the Into the Spider-Verse did. It just tested the multiverse.
Because here's the thing. Okay, we might not use this in the actual pre-Endgame talk, but I want to use it anyway somewhere.
Still got one more theory, but alright. I'll just shut up.
We'll go into it in a second.
Yeah, I bet we will.
Sony have now turned around and said Spider-Man Peter Parker isn't going to be Sony Spider-Verse. That's Marvel. The woman who leads Sony,
Pascal.
she's good friends with Kevin Feige and said, yeah, we've handed him over.
Have you seen his face in interviews? It's quite funny.
Well, anyway, he's like, we've handed him over. That's like Peter Parker is going to. He's still owned by Sony, but we're lending him to the MCU.
Well, that's not the opposite of what she said. She said,
no.
Yes, she did. She said that they're building a Spider-Verse outside of the. They're building a Spider-Verse.
Yeah, but
outside.
It's not going to include Peter Parker.
Yes, it is. It is going to include Peter Parker.
I don't think they'll have it. I think they'll have it where it includes Peter Parker for a little bit of anything, and then give it off to someone else.
Feige is having.
Ben Wright.
I guarantee you, Feige had to fight to not get a cameo from Tom Holland in.
Age of Ultron.
No, in Venom.
Oh right.
He is having to fight to keep them out of those movies because those movies aren't on par with what he wants to create.
But I don't think they'll. I think they'll use Into the Spider-Verse as you go away, going okay, other Peter Parker's work.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay,
So
so my second theory is that what was it now? Now I've forgotten it. What have I said? I've said Fantastic Four.
Multiverse. I was talking about.
You're talking about multiverse.
Do you have anything on your list?
No, there's not actually. I didn't write them down. I just wrote headlines. What was it? It was I'm very set on the idea that they're going to put everything they have to put in the movie. So you're going to see where every character ends up in before the credits roll.
So post-credits won't be and this is what happened to Black Panther, or and this is what happened to Peter Parker.
Yes.
But it could be a Peter Parker. Because it could be Peter Parker.
If I'm just going to rattle off a few. If this dream theory is right and something catastrophic happens to Peter Parker, that will be explored in a post-credit scene, just so they get more time to talk about it. And it leads into Far From Home. I could see the post-credit scene just being a Far From Home trailer. I could see... I could pretty much see a post-credit scene being an announcement, being a trailer for just... You know when they did the Phase 3 slate and they put all the movies up and all the dates? I could literally see that image just
that's the interesting
snaps in the end.
Past Far From Home, they have not announced
officially
any movies past.
I could see a trailer for Disney Plus, all those shows coming out.
Piss me off. Loki, What If series. I'm looking for...
I could see a lot of different things. What I would honestly love to see, and I think this would be the perfect conclusion to be, if you're talking about Infinity War Saga, we both think Cap is gone. I feel seeing, even if Cap ends up in time, seeing Cap have that dance, and it just, that could be the last shot. But the way I envision the ending shot of this movie is just Cap dancing with Peggy, and it just fades to black.
I would cry at that. I'd honestly cry at that.
I think that would be just beautiful, poetic, everything it needs to be. So yeah, I think that's it then for post-credit scenes.
Yeah.
This movie is going to be one hell of a ride.
It is.
It's going to be... It really is, and I would not say this I hate it when people say things like this. Beyond phenomenon, beyond event, beyond... this is a moment
in history,
yeah. Specifically my history, that won't be repeated. In the same way, for me, for those of you who watched Doctor Who, the 50th anniversary was an absolute landmark event.
Yeah.
When Jodie Whittaker came in, it was a landmark event. I think, obviously, this is a lot bigger than those in terms of what's at stake, money.
Yeah, but
talk.
I think in terms of defining,
in terms of talking, in terms of, I think that's where I was going. This will define a generation, if not people, of movies. This is the superhero genre, and the only fear I have is that this is the end, and that this will be.
Yeah.
I think the movies will still get made for years to come.
Yeah.
We've still got a few.
But they won't be a pile they are now.
Not quality. I just mean in terms of the general public, the people paying for them, might just be done, and this might be the last hurrah where we all go, look at all these cool movies, and then we go into something else. And I could genuinely see that happening, and that is the thing that terrifies me about this movie.
Yeah.
What if it is the end?
Yeah.
The great movies of history of superhero movie history have always been followed by
another great.
Another great is what I'm saying.
Oh, so like...
They've always been followed by times of literal... If you talk about Iron Man being... I wouldn't say it's a great, but if you talk about Iron Man being a defining one, it was followed by Incredible Hulk, Thor and Captain America, which were three of the least successful MCU movies.
Yeah, but then if you talk about
The Dark Knight,
suppose, yeah.
it was followed by The Dark Knight Rises, and then look at the rest of the DCEU. Look at the rest of the movies. Where
another day we'll discuss DC.
I know, I love loads of them, but if you look at the general reception, it just hasn't been good.
Yeah.
I don't want them to peak, because if they peak here, and they have peaked, from review embargo was lifted, we've seen the scores, they have peaked. This is the best, this has been hailed as the best, this has been hailed not lightly, not just saying it, as the best superhero movie of all time, which I fully believe, and I'm fully going into this way too hyped.
Yeah. That's my view. Okay, my fear, I get what you mean. And I don't think it will, because I think like rewatching Infinity War last night made me just go, Disney just literally turned to Kevin Feige and the guys at Marvel and said, we will give you whatever you want, just go and do it. And I think if they were willing to do that, they wouldn't then let this be the end, because they'd go, okay, we've done this twice and we've made tons of money, let's keep doing it. At the end of the day, it's a business. But my worry is that we're going to go into this so hyped because everyone said it's so great, so great.
Yeah.
and it's not going to live up to it.
The thing with me, and I've said this many times before, on everything that I go into getting excited, which is I won't be disappointed because think of the joy. We've just spent how long sitting here talking about this movie. The joy that this movie has given, and this is sort of my final note, the joy that this Marvel Cinematic Universe has given, beyond however good the movies are, it doesn't matter if it's a crap movie, it doesn't matter if it's a boring movie. For the Dark World that people said was boring and complicated and wasn't very good, everyone came out of that and started talking about, well, what's going to happen in Captain America? Oh, what does this mean for the Infinity Stones?
What's it mean to Loki taking over?
The joy that comes from Marvel, and the reason it has made billions and billions and billions and has got people there, sold out screenings. Our local cinema is only showing Endgame for a week. A week is...
And we don't live in... This is Coventry.
This is Coventry.
It's a big city.
I mean, it's the only movie you can see all week. And
in New Orleans town centre as well.
And it just shows how much people genuinely care about these fictional characters, this fictional universe. Yeah. And to Kevin Feige, who is never listening to this, he is an absolute genius.
Yeah.
This is what everyone, as a person in the creative industries, everyone else listening to this who's in the creative industries will know you always have that one big idea that you're like, one day I'm going to do this. This is my genius idea. And he did it, and it worked. And the only thing that this is saying in terms of that is have your dream and live it. He worked in Marvel movies since the X-Men.
Yeah.
He worked on the X-Men, he worked on Spider-Man.
Yeah, he was the assistant to the woman.
Yeah, he worked for them, and then he was like, I can do this better. I know what I need to do. And he did it. And if Kevin Feige retires tomorrow, frankly, I think he should.
Yeah, I think Endgame is like, done.
I think he should go, I did this. I don't want to do any more because I know when I need to stop. Yeah. But he won't, because he genuinely is a fan.
Yeah.
And this is what the Cinematic Universe has done that no one else has done. It doesn't care about money. And we've been talking today about business decisions that have been made. Again, talking about the first movies, Incredible Hulk, Thor, Captain America, they were flops. Commercial flops. They would have to check budgets and stuff, but they did not do well. They did terribly compared to movies. They were supposed to be, and now are, better than all the superhero movies that came before. They were on par. They were just another crappy superhero movie.
Like if you think of Dark Knight, which made loads of money.
Yeah.
Batman Begins, which was I suppose the comparison you can make to like, the likes of, Captain America.
Yes.
It was another one of those movies. It was just it was a movie. It was in fun, but it didn't make much money.
It's incredible because off the back of Iron Man and Iron Man 2, they greenlit the Avengers.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't realise this because again I wasn't massively into it back then. I read an interview that was with Chris Evans, Captain America, on the set of the Avengers because his movie hadn't come out yet. And if you think about that and think about the fact that if they'd waited for those movies to come out, Avengers would never have been greenlit. Avengers would not have been the movie that it was. Kevin Feige had a vision. He followed that vision. He didn't let anything sway him. And I bet he got a bollocking as soon as those movies came out and they were like, we just spent another 200 million on you. This better make money.
Yeah.
And it very nearly didn't. Because if it had come out closer to those or marketed wrong or blah, 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 it wouldn't have.
Yeah.
And it's been a massive gamble, and it all ends in just a few hours. We're literally going to Avengers Endgame tonight, which is in almost just over
10 hours.
Way less than 10 hours.
No.
In like 8 hours.
So, I've already got tickets. They told us to get 45 minutes early, but it starts at 11:30.
So we'll get there at like 10.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
This is now just turned into
7 hours.
7 hours away to us getting ready to go and watch this movie.
And obviously,
we will be recording something in the near future.
Yeah.
Which is our response. I hope to do it as soon as possible because I want to get a fresh one, and then in a few months I want to do another one.
Yeah.
And I want to see how.
I say we do Endgame, immediate reactions. Wait until everyone else has then reacted. Endgame, reactions to reactions and what we all then discuss
Yes.
in the near future. Far From Home, we talk about Star Wars. I think we discuss Disney Plus, what they're doing with that.
This podcast, for those of you who don't know, it's literally just a random thing that we were like, let's just do this. And we've done
You
it.
thought I was joking.
And I just kicked the mic. And it's going to be just an experiment, basically. So if you're listening and you enjoy it, please... I assume... We don't know where we're going to put this yet, so...
Yeah. We also don't have a name at this. At this exact moment, we do not have a name.
We don't. But
Apart from
still like
artificial
introduction, which will be the name of this podcast episode, whatever we call it. It will be somewhere.
I think artificial introductions should now just be it. It's now a thing.
I quite like artificial introductions.
So hi guys, welcome to Artificial Introductions.
That's an artificial introduction. You've done it yet. So this is just a bit of a random. See, it might just never happen. No one might listen to it. We might just be talking to ourselves right now.
I'm happy for that.
But
I'm happy for us just to sit here and discuss it.
Listener, if you are listening,
it'll be my girlfriend.
If you like this,
Cara and Ness will be watching.
Don't say their names. I'm gonna bleep them out, just so you know. If you're listening, please like or comment or do anything that we might or might not be able to do on whatever service we post this upon, because it will just mean that we know someone's actually
watching.
To this. And so we're going to talk about many things, mostly things we're into, so Marvel, DC, Star Wars. I'll probably do Doctor Who if anything happens.
I'm happy with Doctor Who.
I
haven't watched.
We'll talk about Disney Plus. I have some other ideas of YouTube. Which I'll explain to you later because I haven't even said that yet. But
this is becoming a thing.
This is a thing, and screw it.
I think the interesting thing from soon is that we'll be in 2 different cities. So I think playing that will be fun. So
and I have many. I did this before, which will never be said. Eventually, I'll tell you where to find it all.
Yeah, no. Eventually, we'll put it on this whatever streaming service or whatever we put on this. This will go to Netflix.
But yeah, so this is going to be a whole lot of fun. So keep listening. Subscribe.
Whatever.
I don't really know. I think that'll do it. So let's conk that on the head. And
can we end it like that every time?
Tune in if there is ever another one, because at this point we do not know.
Yeah.
So this might be it. This might just sit on a computer. Imagine AI 10 years in the future is like going through our files and listening to them all, and it just thinks, whoa, they're talking to me. What?
Artificial instructions. Hi.
Okay, so see you later, alligator. We're not ending on see you later, alligator. We need a good ending.
Should we do it very right? So just tapping our knees a couple of times.
Okay, cool.
No, yeah. So we'll go to see Endgame. We hope you enjoy it.
Yeah.
And,
we're gonna end this game.
No.
End it.
I'm not.
End it. I'm gonna press the end.
Right.
End it. End game. We're gonna end it on this end game. We did it again.